Did it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We are going to be explaining a little bit about our current job posting, telling you about our hiring processes, and then giving you plenty of time to ask questions. We do ask that you hold your questions until the end of the webinar. My name is Megan Cooper, and I'm the Regional Manager for Southern California, the State Coastal Conservancy. And I'm joined today by Trish Chapman, who is the Regional Manager for the Central Coast. There we go. The California State Coastal Conservancy is a state government agency that was established to protect and improve the natural lands and waterways along the coast of California and in San Francisco Bay, and to help people get to and enjoy the outdoors along the coast. We support projects primarily through providing grants and technical assistance to local communities, nonprofit organizations, and other government agencies, but also through project partnerships and collaborative planning efforts. We work along the entire length of California and in the coastal watersheds. And our jurisdiction covers about 1/3 of the land area of the state and 75% of its people. For the past several years, the Conservancy has been working to expand our agency's role in promoting equity, inclusion, and diversity, and addressing environmental justice in the areas where we work. We do this both internally within our agency and externally by giving grants to serve disadvantaged and underserved communities, increasing technical assistance to grantees, funding meaningful community engagement, and partnering with tribes to increase tribal access to land and tribal co-management. And these goals really permeate all of the work that we do at the Conservancy. Some of the types of projects that we fund include the restoration of coastal wetlands, and we're currently in the process of restoring about 40,000 acres of wetlands in San Francisco Bay and another 5,000 acres in Southern California. And we also protect and restore watersheds that drain to the coast, including improving fish passage in projects like taking down dams and removing barriers. We are also hoping to address the climate crisis by funding projects that are using nature-based solutions to protect the coast from sea level rise, to improve resilience to wildfire, and by helping communities plan for coastal adaptation. And then, of course, public access to the coast is at the core of what our agency does. For almost 50 years, we have helped to protect coastal land and build trails, stairways, and other access amenities. But we also know that building physical access isn't the end of the story. And to create equitable access, our Explore the Coast program has funded hundreds of projects to bring people to the coast, focusing on communities that face barriers to access. So the Conservancy Project Development Analyst, or CPDA series, is our project manager or grant manager classification here at the Conservancy. And we are currently hiring in the Project Development Analyst 2 range. We generally hire at the entry level in the Staff Services Analyst range. So this is a unique case where we're hiring at a higher level, looking for a more experienced person to fill this role. So we often get the question, what would a typical day of work look like for this job? The nice thing about working here is that no 2 days are really the same. But essentially, what this job would entail is you would be managing a set of projects that would be assigned to you, and you would be doing everything from reviewing grant applications to preparing written staff recommendations, making oral presentations to our board, working with our attorneys on grant agreements, working with grantees on the scope of work, reviewing and improving invoices, and participating in project meetings and site visits with our grantees and our partners. And then, of course, there's also internal committee meetings and trainings. And being a government agency, we have a wide variety of government forms that we need to complete during our work. So, and in particular for this job, one of the assignments that this project manager will have is to work on public access in Malibu. And this is an area that has been at the forefront of public access in California for many decades. So this is a challenging and exciting opportunity. Now I'm going to turn it over to Trish. If I can make this go. There we go. Wait, did I skip?
Okay, so we just wanted to highlight kind of the core skills that we look for in project managers. And first is critical thinking and problem solving ability. And one of the really exciting things about being a project manager for the Conservancy is that the tasks are always different. But they all require both analytical and creative thinking to solve the issues that come up in your projects. You also need to have organizational skills. Once you've been trained and gotten up to speed, you'll be managing 20 plus grants at a time, and you'll need to be tracking deadlines and tasks, deliverables, and you'll need good systems for both time and task management, and also to document management. We really prize people that are self-motivated. The job has a lot of independence. But you will be working on your own a lot and need to take initiative on your own. And finally, this job is one where communication is really core to what we do. And that includes both written and verbal communication, meeting management and facilitation, and just having conversations and developing relationships with our grantees and partners and also coworkers. So there's a longer list on the job application, but those are really probably our 4 highest priorities in terms of skills. For our hiring process, we want to give you an idea of the time frame. This is a very approximate time frame, but so the deadline to apply is the 31st, and the next step is that our Human Resources Department reviews all the applications to make sure that they meet the minimum qualifications. And right now we're very short-staffed in HR, so we have this timeline on here, but it could take longer. Once that has happened, then the materials are passed along to Megan and her hiring team, and their review will take somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how many applications we get. When we have been hiring at the entry level, we've been getting hundreds of applications, but because we're hiring at a higher level, we expect there'll be fewer, and so we hope that part will go faster, but we won't know till we know how many there are. That's followed by interviews with top ranked candidates, and those are conducted virtually. There's no need to travel or anything. And then we'll do reference checks for the top 2 or 3 candidates. And if all goes well, we hope to be making a job offer by mid-March. But again, that's really variable depending on the number of applications we get. So moving on, just wanted to go through what's involved in applying. And so the first thing is you will have to take a state exam, and I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. So I'll just skip that for the moment. And then your application package should include the standard state form, and that's where you just you give your basic info plus your college degree, and then information on past jobs. And I really encourage you to fill out that section, to fill out the application thoroughly, and to think about the those 4 priorities I just showed you, and also the skills that are listed on the job announcement, and to try to talk about your past work in the context of the things we're looking for. Um, the same is true for the resume, and yes, there may be duplication between the two, but I would encourage you to do both thoroughly. Um, and again, with keeping in mind what we're looking for, to make sure that we don't miss that you have those skills, like make it obvious for us. Um, you will also be asked to submit a statement of qualifications, and that's going to be 2 questions that you'll answer to give us just more information about your experience and knowledge, and it's also an opportunity for you to exhibit your writing skills. So think about that when you're writing it. You will also be submitting diploma and transcripts, but those will not be passed along to the hiring team. Those are used by HR for determining if you meet the minimum qualifications. And I'll also say that I do think within the system there's a way to send us a cover letter, but that if you do that, it won't get passed on to the hiring team. So you can save yourself the effort and not do a cover letter. These are the parts that you need. Okay, so let's talk about the exam for a minute. So you're going to be asked to take the Coastal Program Analyst 2 exam, and that's an exam that was developed for hiring by the Coastal Commission and the Bay Conservation and Development Commission. So don't start to think that you're in the wrong test. We use their test. And it's a self-assessment test. And in order to qualify for the position, you need to score at least 70%. So the test is about your training and experience. And I think what we would say is that you are asked to self-evaluate yourself in terms of training and experience, and that if in doubt between some options, go ahead and give yourself the higher option, because that's okay with us if you do that. We will not see your answers to the test. So highly encourage you to read the exam bulletin and look at the sample questions that are shown in the exam bulletin, so that when you actually go and take the test, you're ready for it. It is going to ask you, for like number of years of experience doing this or that. So you want to have probably your own resume and materials ready so you're able to answer those questions. Anything to add on that, Megan? Okay, so moving on, some frequently asked questions. There is a salary range for the CPDA 2, but every candidate will start at the entry point of that range, which is $5,793 a month, unless you are already a state employee, and then you come over at an amount equivalent to your current salary, I believe is how it works. And then the way it's set up is there's a certain number of steps within that range that get you to the top, or within that jobs that get you to the top of the range. And generally, you can expect to get a 5% merit salary raise each year until you've made it to the top of the range. You are being hired in the middle of our project management series, so the next step above it, and the only one unless you move into management, is our Conservancy Project Development Specialist. And just to be clear, there's a limited number of CPDS positions in the agency, and so promotions into that job category are usually pretty competitive. This position, in terms of its location, it can either be located in out of our Oakland office, and if you work out of our Oakland office, you're required to be in the office 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Or you can be located, and you can be located in one of the 4 South Coast counties, so Ventura, LA, Orange, or San Diego. And you have to actually live in that county. That's been a confusion for folks in the past. I don't believe you have to live there to apply, but you have to be living there at the time you start work. And if you have a remote position, you'd be expected to be in the Oakland office for once a month for a 2-day trip, all of which is paid, of course, by us. And in addition to the travel to the office, you'll also travel around the state for board meetings. We have 5 board meetings a year, and usually those involve 2 days of travel, one for a tour to project sites, and then one for the actual meeting. And then you'll also do a lot of traveling around the region for your projects. If you're based out of the Oakland office, that means you'll be flying down to Southern California a lot, and you will build up your Southwest frequent flyer points. Yeah, so just say, come join us. One of the things that I love about working at the Conservancy is being part of a group of really creative problem solvers. And you will find that many of our employees have been here for their entire careers, or they come here and they never leave. And that's because of just we get to do really interesting work. The work changes all the time. It's challenging, and it's a friendly atmosphere to work in. We're really dedicated to our mission and to learning and growing together to take on challenges. And yeah, we're a fun group. So we're down to 1 person here, but Colin, if you have questions, we'd be happy to answer any questions.